coconut butterfly.
There's married to the world famous Betty Boop. She whiz, what a lucky guy. So in love might make you puke. She's the apple of his eye. Sit right down, we're gonna give you the scoop with Ryan Pfeiffer and Lisa Doop.
You have a banana butterfly.
This is the story of a guy named Mr. Boop.
Okay.
Okay.
We ready to boop?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone. Whoop. Knocked the microphone. Hi everyone. You're listening to Being Mr. Boop. Where would being Mr. Boop? Electro Point. My name is
You don't need to read that for the title.
No, this one had Electro Point written instead of.
Oh, I forgot. Go on.
So my name's X and I'm Mr. Boop.
Same.
Okay, X is Sunday, April 12th, 2020, and today we're reading the 55th ever Mr. Boop strip. What happens in today's Mr. Boop?
Huh. In today's Mr. Boop, this one reminds me of something. Electries. Shadow synopsis. LOL or LOL, and that's also the secondary shadow synopsis. For those who don't know, these are taken from Alec Robbins' Twitter and Patreon posts of the strip.
Even if they've never heard this before, everyone knows what a shadow synopsis is and what a secondary.
Shut the fuck up. There's 4 panels. A shadow synopsis are the synopses that are written by Shadow the Hedgehog.
He's doing his own podcast on this, just in the other studio.
Yeah, and we sneak in and grab the synopses out of his synopses barrel and take them back to our podcast and pick them out at random. And sometimes they match the strip somehow.
We're very jealous of him because he does this in under an hour.
Yeah, Andy has got a cool gun. 4 panels. First panel we see Betty Boop. Classic cartoon.
Straight line.
Huh?
I see a straight line.
What do you mean?
Straight line. Panel 1.
A straight line?
Yeah, I see a straight line.
What do you mean?
Go with it. Just go with it.
Okay. Me too.
What? Panel 2?
I also see a straight line.
Panel 2? I see 2 straight lines.
Ah. And one of them is slightly shorter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Panel 3, 2 straight lines again.
Yeah, but this time they're equal height.
And panel 4, 1 straight line and 1 line on its side.
Yeah, if only we could remember the names for vertical and horizontal. That's the strip.
Well, good night, everybody.
Whoa, it just loaded in. It was not loaded in properly. Now it's loaded in. First panel, we see Betty Boop.
Fading out my audio.
First panel is Betty Boop, barging in through emergency doors that looks like it's a hospital or something. The doors are labeled emergency. The word emergency goes over both doors. So as she opens it, it's like the word cuts in half. She's rushing into this emergency room of sorts. She looks panicked or something. Panel 2. Lisa, what's happening in panel 2?
I'm gone.
No, you're not.
I'm
What's happening in
out.
panel 2?
There'll just be silence because I'm faded out.
No, shut up. What's the panel 2? No. I'm not describing this. We can't not. Even when they do, even when they're making jokes, they still go back and describe it every time.
I've tried to stop them many occasions.
I know, it's awful.
Okay.
Go on.
I don't know. This one, Betty's looking over at a man.
There's a desk.
A desk. There's a
He's
desk
behind a desk at a chair.
Yeah. We're presuming this is at some sort of office space.
Betty is going up to this desk, and this person is at a chair behind the desk, like an office type chair. We can see some little items under in his desk, little books or whatever. He's pointing to the left of the panel, like as if go that way, but we don't hear what he's saying. Betty's tears are welling up in her eyes as she.
This is a strip that's so powerful it needs no words.
True.
You know
True.
what I mean?
I guess you could say they're at a loss for words.
Yeah, I'm at a loss for words. Which is why I'm not talking this episode.
The background is there's not usually much going on for backgrounds in these strips, from what I can remember, right?
Not usually.
Not usually. But
I don't even know if there's any in the original.
What do you mean?
The one that this is a coincidentally looks a lot like.
Right.
You know what
I don't know what you're talking about, but the background of this is like these pale lines.
This is clearly an imitation of The Last Supper by Michelangelo.
Oh, well, isn't all art? And on the wall, there's a sign that says 911, which makes me think this is indeed an emergency room. But I don't know why an emergency. You wouldn't need to call 911 when you're already at the emergency room. You don't need to know the number.
Yes, good. What if you're concussed?
You're already at the emergency room. Panel 3, Betty is standing talking to what looks like a doctor or a nurse. They're in scrubs, so I think they're a nurse. They have a stethoscope around their neck and with a name tag attached to it or something. Or no, the name tag is just under the stethoscope. They're holding a clipboard. They're expressing something towards Betty. We can't hear what they're saying still. Betty's crying, hands on her waist, I guess.
I like the drawings of Betty in this.
She's grimacing, and we see a vague hospital background behind her.
Yeah.
He looks sad as he's like delivering sad information to her, and she's crying and grimacing. Panel 4, we see who is lying in the hospital bed?
That's Mr. Boop.
It's Alec Robbins, Mr. Boop.
Alec Robbins Boop.
Alec Robbins Boop. Alec Robbins hyphen Boop.
Alec Boop Robbins. Alec.
Oh, right,
Alec
right. Sorry. Alec Boop hyphen Robbins.
These all sound like German names.
Wait, no. What do you? It's Alec Boop. It wouldn't be. Why does it? Wait. Okay, this is a good question. I don't think we ever brought this up. Why did he say by Alec Robbins if he took her last name?
Well, I assume that it's a modern marriage. Neither of them really took each other's last name, I think.
But didn't he in the strip club interview? He was like, of course I took her last name. It's Betty Boop. He took her last name. That's why he is Mr. Boop. So why is he Alec Robbins?
There's a lot of celebrities and artists who, when they get married, they don't change their last name on their work. You know what I mean?
I guess. Maybe. I don't know where I was going with that thought. Never mind.
It's common among these celebrity types, these artistics.
Yeah. Alec is lying in a hospital bed, tube out of his nose, something around his arm, IVs hooked up to him. He's like completely unconscious.
Have you heard the story I have with IVs?
No.
So once I was going to this Halloween party, and the bouncer wouldn't let me in, and he kept on asking me for my ID, but I didn't have my ID with me. So I pull out an IV, an Ivania strip, and he says ID, not IV, and I say, my bad. Maybe I left it in my other pants. So I pull out a second pair of pants I have, and take my IV from that, and he just says, okay, and I go in.
Why do I feel like this is not a real story?
It really happened to someone.
Who did it happen to?
Him Avery, his name is.
Who?
Him Avery.
Oh my god, of course. Of course. God, of course. Why did I let you tell that story?
Most people, when they hear me talk about IVs, know to shut me up. Right?
Yeah, oh, I've never seen the movie. I feel like you have told the story before, actually.
I told it last week.
Oh my god. Last week, which was a bonus episode, probably. Oh, I was tuning you out, I think. Mr. Boop is not dead. He's hooked up to these machines, and he's got a pulse. We see on the screen. He is. You know, in the last strip, he said, "Am I dead?" And Getty said, "In a manner of speaking, one may view it that way." His earthly soul has ascended. So his soul is not in his body, but his pulse is still beating. Betty is approaching the bed, hands out like, "Oh my god," and she's crying. She's mouth agape, reaching out to him. No background for this panel other than the medical equipment, which is not drawn in background style. He's got a blanket on him on the hospital bed, also a head on a pillow. He looks like he's just taking a nap, honestly.
He's having fun.
He's having fun at the hospital.
Yeah.
I like to have fun at the hospital sometimes. Go over there, catch some Pokemon Goes.
I steal people's IVs so that I can do that joke with
Yeah. There's some Pokestops at my. Actually, I guess the children's. The last time I went to when was Pokemon Go? 2016.
Yes.
I used to walk over to the children's hospital I was born in. That I for the longest time I lived down the street from, most of my life. And when Pokemon Go was a thing, I would just walk over there, and because there were some Pokestops, so I'd walk over there, get some Aubon Pan or Pain, or because they have that in they have their cafeteria. It's good. You walk in there, and they're like, "Hey, you can't be in here," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so I pretend to walk out, and then I keep going when they're not looking.
My goodness, you're a criminal. Yeah.
Well, I don't know why I can't be in there. What if I had? What would it? Do it because I'm not visiting someone. I just want to get some freaking Aubon Pen.
Overstepping your boundaries there.
I remember I watched BoJack Horseman season 2 on my phone in there as I was eating some Aubon Pen in the restaurant, in the Aubon Pen in the hospital.
We should do a commentary of Son of the Mask as a Being Mr. Boop special on me.
Oh, we didn't do a. I don't know. No, we I don't know. Maybe if you know, we should do the Valentine's Day special. The Valentine's Day Eve special covering the Betty Boop thing. And then if we somehow have to take another hiatus and we're still doing this next February, which I hope we're not. What if we are? Then yeah, we'll do Son of the Mask.
You didn't want to do. You didn't want to do this for 4 seasons?
No, I do, but I don't want it to last. I don't. Maybe will it last that long? I don't think it would. It wouldn't last to next February if we keep going till the end right now.
Okay.
Well, anyway, who's hosting? You're hosting. Wait, what do we think of this strip? I think it's
think it's funny.
Pretty iconic. It feels kind of derivative somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
These memes weren't that old at that point. They weren't that old in 2020.
What memes?
You know, the Sistine Chapel.
The Sistine. That's not what you said.
No, but it's the same
You changed
thing.
it. I see.
See, I'm doing a little bit of improv.
Yeah. Let me look up something. This is
Lil Wayne's song "Lollipop" is a famous example of
Excuse me. This I'm just looking at whatever. Are we done pretending that Lost doesn't exist?
I was done from the start.
Okay. Well, in the original Lost, the background, I cannot believe that he did this for a published comic strip. The background is just photos, like stock photos that he blurred out. He didn't draw the background at all. He just took some stock photos and blurred them out.
That's amazing.
I do that for some drawings I do, but like I can't imagine doing that for an actual published comic strip. That just seems like the epitome of laziness. I was doing like a daily drawing thing, and I would just like, what am I doing for background? I don't know. If I could take a background image that's relevant and blur it out. Because fuck it, you know? But for a published comic strip, like what?
Yeah.
Unless it's like a stylistic choice, and it's like, maybe it's a photo you took, or a photo you licensed, but like, I'm sure he...
Who knows if he licensed it? Who knows?
I feel like, I mean, these were probably sold in like collections or whatever.
I have one of the collections.
Yeah, so he probably, got it from like a stock image website, but like, give me a break.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, we're just reviewing Lost now. There's no machine, there's no hospital. So to compare them, there's no, she's not hooked up to any machines in the original Lost, because she doesn't need.
She's not wounded. She's.
Yeah. Well, she's emotionally wounded.
But she's had a miscarriage.
And Betty is more distraught in this than Mr. Control Alt Delete is. Tim Buckley. He's not crying. He's just like, oh, Control Alt Delete face, looking kind of sad.
Have you read Red Ring of Death yet?
No.
It's good. It's funny.
I've been reading this. It's not really a webcomic, but it's like it kind of reminds me of Homestuck, but without any comic elements. It's called 17,776.
Nice.
Have you heard of that?
No.
It's about like these satellites or whatever, and football in the year 17,776. After people stopped aging thousands of years ago, so football has just got insane, and it's being observed by like these 3 sentient satellites. Something like that. I read a little bit of that. It's interesting. Anyway, before we end this episode, it's time for our weekly segment. How you doing?
I'm doing very bad.
Oh, yeah?
Good.
Why?
Christmas was recently.
Yeah, true.
Greatest time alive. I got a stylophone and an automaton.
This is what I got for Christmas. I'm wearing it right now. My Being Jim Davis shirt. I put it on my Christmas list so that my family would be tricked into donating to the Pitch Drop Podcast Network. By the way, if you're listening to this, why don't you head on over to the Pitch Drop Patreon, donate to the. I don't think we don't have that in our. We don't mention the Patreon in our closing tagline. Should we?
We don't get nothing from it.
I don't think Being Jim Davis does actually.
No, but that's
we don't get anything from it, but if more people donated, we would, hypothetically. if more people donated to the Patreon, we would see some of it, I think, probably, hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Is this something that's...
I think we've faded out already.
Is this something that we're allowed to talk about?
Well,
not allowed to discuss the salary.
She was a little lucky guy. So in love might make you puke. She's the apple of his eye. Sit right down, we're gonna give you the scoop with Ryan Pfeiffer and Lisa Doop. Stamma ding dong loop de loop. This is the story of a guy named Mr. Boop.
This podcast was brought to you by the Pitch Drop Podcast Network. Like what you just heard? Support the show by going to patreon.com/pitchdrop. And while you're at it, check out pitchdrop.net for more of this and other shows.